Hi, this is Ravi Kimpaya, the co-founder of Zen Electric Bikes. I'm coming to you from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we will be assembling all our e-bikes. In this video, we wanted to acknowledge all the pre-order customers for their support. We greatly appreciate your support and interest. Now, the Samurai e-bike comes in two different variants. One is the base version, the other one is the premium version. Now, don't be fooled by the word base version, because the base version has truly excellent components, and in this video we will go over all the details of the base model, and we will explain what really is possible to upgrade, what are not. And this base version and the premium version comes in three different colors: satin black, chili red or racing red, and then electric blue. And the bikes come in four different sizes as well. Okay, now let's get into it. The two most important components of an e-bike are motor and the battery. Let's focus on the motor. We use the Bosch Gen 4 motor system. The Bosch Gen 4 motor system is really known for its excellent weight to performance ratio. The motor clocks in at 2.9 kilograms. As you can see, it's really compact, but the whole internals, it has got magnesium internals in it, so it can really sustain high power and climb really steep hills. You can climb steep hills without overheating or affecting the motor in a negative way. And it's rated for 85 Newton meters of torque. There's one thing about this motor that I really enjoy, which is the responsiveness of the torque sensor. It is extremely refined, extremely quick to start and stop. You never need a brake sensor because the motor doesn't have any lag at all. And it supports up to 340% of rider's input. So you get excellent performance out of this. It supports up to 85 Newton meters. As I said, 2.9 kilograms, one of the lightest in its class, and really stealthy too. So that's great. Now let's talk about the battery. Bosch makes several kinds of batteries: 400 watt hours, 500 watt hours, 625 watt hour, and now the latest 750 watt hours. We chose to go with 500 watt hour as the default standard. You can upgrade that to 1000 watt hours with dual battery configuration. Dual battery can be built both on the base model as well as the premium model. Now, why did we go for 500, not the 625? We did the math. We realized that we can provide the best value and performance at 500 watt hour. 625 watt hour battery is great, but it's a lot more expensive than the 500 watt hour, which has been on the market for a few years. It's really dialed down. It's very light. So we have 500 watt hour default on the base version, and you can bump it up to 1000 watt hour. So you can really get close to, I would say, 75 to 80 miles of range, realistic range, with 1000 watt hours of battery power, battery energy storage. So moving on with the Bosch ecosystem, we have talked about motors, we have talked about batteries, the displays, different kinds of displays. I want to quickly mention the charger. Many of the bikes on the market come with 2 amps, but this will come with the bike. The Samurai bike will come with a 4 amp charger. So this will charge the battery, 500 watt hour battery, from 0 to full in about 4 hours. And then we have, if you have a dual battery setup, you drain it down all the way to 0%. You can charge it all the way back to 100% in about 8 hours. So you plug it in at night, by morning the dual battery setup is completely ready. One of the other components of the Bosch ecosystem is the computer. Bosch makes some of the most reliable and also feature-rich computer systems, displays, if you wish to call that. If you look at all the other displays on the market, you will see that some of them have color contrast issues, some of them have problems with the feature sets, some of them have problems with reliability. But Bosch was able to bring some of the reliability from their automotive division, and they make 4 different kinds of displays. The Purion on the basic version, then comes the Intuvia, what we have here. The Intuvia, this is what comes on the base model. Now you can upgrade the Intuvia to a Kiox, which is really good because Kiox brings a new feature, which is the electronic lock. If you remove the Kiox or the Nyon from the cradle, you can lock the motor electronically. So the bike comes with Intuvia. You can upgrade to Kiox, or you can even upgrade to the bigger Nyon. this has built-in GPS, amazing clarity, lots of real estate, and you can do lots of navigation, tracking your rides, and also custom power delivery for your bike. That's extremely, I would say, appealing to a lot of customers, because you can, bikes have certain preset assist levels, but with the Nyon you can adjust the exact power levels you want for your e-bike. So we consider safety really important. For this reason, even the base version of our Samurai has got some excellent lights that you may only find in some of the high-end bikes on the market. For example, the Samurai base version has Lezyne Macro 1000. This puts out 1000 lumens of light output. It's got 4 different settings: eco, trail, and medium, high, and really blindingly bright setting. So this makes for commuting even in the dark, whether it is early morning or late night, quite safe. And we got the super bright Lezyne super bright rear light. So combining these two, we have the safety covered, and also we have reflective sidewalls on the tires, which makes for even better visibility. So if you carefully observe the products on the market, you will see many of the commuter bikes have spring suspension forks. Now we have equipped the Samurai base version with Manitou Machete suspension fork. It's a mountain bike grade fork. It's got 32mm stanchions, single sleeve air chamber, and 15 by 110 boost hub spacing. So one thing you will notice is that it's got a reverse arch, not on the front, in the back. What this does to the bike handling is, when you corner or going, taking a high-speed corner, it doesn't flex as much. So the whole system lends for a really stable bike ride, and the suspension has 120mm travel. So this is much more than what you would need for commuting on the roads, even on light off-road fire trails. So that's the suspension fork, and we also have 2 kinds of suspension seat post to complement this. Now the base version will come with our own suspension seat post, or you can also upgrade to one of the most wonderful Connect suspension seat posts that almost makes your ride similar to that of a full suspension. But for commuting purpose, we think combination of suspension fork and Connect makes for a fantastic combination. We found that combining the Bosch Gen 4 motor with an internal gear hub through a Gates belt drive makes for an extremely low maintenance and high performance setup. So on the base model, we have equipped the bikes with the Enviolo internal gear hubs. These are the heavy duty version. Enviolo makes 3 different kinds of internal gear hubs: the city, trekking, and heavy duty. Heavy duty is really meant for heavy duty use, because the hub shell is rated for about 450 pounds of load. So the heavy duty hub is laced to a wheel using 36 spokes. These spokes, and given the fact that the hub flange is symmetric, almost symmetric, if not completely symmetric, makes for an extremely strong wheel. Now the hub, the internal gear hub has a 6-bolt rotor pattern, so we use 180mm rotor. Now this makes for an extremely strong rear wheel, which can take a lot of beating, whether it is off-road use or commuting at 25 kilometers an hour or 25 miles an hour. You will have no issues with the wheel. Now we move on to the Gates belt drive. These belts are amazing. They're quiet, extremely low maintenance, and we use the 125 tooth. On the base version we have the 128 tooth version. So these belts offer at least 3 to 4 times the life of a regular chain. So if you're commuting in places like Michigan, Wisconsin, or in Canada, you really greatly benefit from a belt drive, because you never have to lube, or you never have to clean it. You just dust it off a little bit. All the slush, dirt, salt doesn't make any impact on the drivetrain. One of the components of an e-bike that are as important as the drive system itself are the brakes, because you need to be able to stop when you really need them. And the modulation of the brakes makes a big difference when you want to stop, or assessing the stop distance. So we use the Magura CT4 brakes. These are really high quality brakes, and for commuting purpose, even light off-road, they're perfect. They're very low maintenance, and they come with 2 pistons and 180 millimeters of rotors. So for majority of the cases, unless you're going on a downhill, these brakes will work perfectly and then inspire a lot of confidence. Speaking of touch points, we equip all the bikes with Ergon GP1 grips. They have lock rings at the end, and so it doesn't twist. And the seats or the saddle is again Ergon SF3. So both Ergon's touch points makes for a really comfortable ride. And talking about the handlebar also contributes for your ride comfort. We have our own custom Satori handlebar. This has both back sweep and raise, so perfect for city and trekking and day, touring kind of setup. So now we have gone through all the component set. You will realize that from the Bosch ecosystem to the internal gear hub to the Gates belt drive, it's a very low maintenance, high performance setup. We believe such a combination will be ideally suited for North American riding conditions. We have an early bird special going on our website. Please check us out, zenebikes.com, and you can follow on the social media to learn all the latest updates and specials going on. We hope to serve you and look forward to getting you the Zen Samurai.